The Glunk that got Thunk. A thing my sister likes to do some evenings after supper is sit upstairs in her small room and use her thinker-upper. She turns her thinker-upper on. She lets it softly purr. It thinks up friendly little things with smiles of fuzzy fur. She sometimes does this by the hour, and when she's tired of play, she turns on her unthinker and unthinks the things away. Well, one evening she was thinking up some fuzzy little stuff. The sister sighed and said, "This stuff is all right, but it's not fun enough. I've got to think up bigger things. I'll bet I can, I'll speed up my thinker-upper, as fast as it'll go." "Think, think," she cried. Her thinker-upper gave a snorty snore. It started thunk, 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 thunking, as it never had before. With all her might, her eyes shut tight, she cried, "Thunk, thunk, some more." Then blunk, her thinker-upper thunked. A double clunker clunk. My sister's eyes flew open, and she saw she thunked a glunk. He was greenish, not too cleanish, and he sort of had bad breath. "Good gracious," gasped my sister. "I've thunked up quite a myth." She turned on her unthinker, tried to think the glunk away, but she found that the unthinker didn't seem to work that day. The glunk just smiled and said, "Dear child, you can't unthink a glunk. Ask anyone, they'll tell you that a glunk can't be unthunk. I'm here to stay forever in your lovely, lovely home, and now, with your permission, dear, I'll use your telephone. I call my mother every night. It gives her such a great joy. She lives 9,000 miles away, and I'm her only boy. Long distance? Long distance is expensive," she cried. "Get off that line." But the glunk had dialed Texacoda, cut 123409. "Hello, dear mother," grabbed the glunk. "I hope you're feeling fine. And don't worry about the phone bill. It's all paid by a friend of mine. I've just called you up to tell you how I love you, oh I do. And today I did some cooking, and I cooked some glunker stew. Let me tell you how I did it. You may want to make some too. You take a cup of applesauce and a pinch of straw and drop 14 oysters, 7 cooked and 7 raw. You beat it to a frazzle and then a special frazzle spade. Then you pour it in a rubber boot half filled with lemonade. Then you toss it in the mixer where you spuggle it and spin it." "Stop!" my sister yelled. "This costs $10 every minute." "Money? Pooh!" The glunk just laughed. "Don't think of things like that," he said. "Now, darling, mother, let me tell you. Let me see. Where was I at? Oh, you take it off of the mixer, and when the stew is nicely pink, then you add a bunk of something. Hunk of chunk, a luck, I think. Then you chuck in chunks of chiclets, and then you plunk in 7 cherries, and then you plunk in, mother dear, 3 dozen kinds of berries. Now, mother mine, please do this right. Those berries that you're plunking, unless you plunk them with care, will keep the stew from glunking." "Stop, stop!" my sister screamed. "It's not a funny joke. My father can't afford this call. My father will go broke." "Now keep still," the glunk snapped back. He kicked her in the shin. "Don't you interrupt my mother when she's plunking berries. Now, mother, plunk one berry, blue. Now, plunk one berry, raz. What's that? You have no raspberries? Oh, everybody has. But if you don't have raspberry raz, a schmutzberry will do. You have a schmutzberry. I know you have. Now plunk it in the stew. And he went on talking about berries. With his dear old darling mother, he jabbered and blabbered 1 whole hour and then another. He talked for $300 worth. My sister shook with fright. This glunk might cost us millions. He might jabber on all night. My father will be ruined. We'll be penniless. We're sunk, unless I can unthunk him. Oh, I must unthunk this glunk. And that's how I found them. She was standing there unthinking, and the glunk still talking, glunker stew, and the glunk was still not unglunking. Could she unthunk the glunk alone? It's very doubtful whether so. I turn on my unthinker, and we unthink the glunk together. Then I gave her quite a talking to about her thinker-upper. Now she only thinks of fuzzy things in the evening after supper.